Muito bem, olá pessoas, eu sou Paulo Koi, sejam todos muito bem-vindos para mais um vídeo da nossa série de Skyrim. Estamos aqui nos últimos episódios, não sei quantos ainda serão, mas a gente está na reta final. A ideia é terminar The Elder Scrolls 5 e Skyrim, essa série de Skyrim, ainda em 2021. Espero que vocês estejam curtindo, então não se esqueçam de deixar o like, se inscrever no canal, ativar as notificações e me seguir na Twitch, twitch.tv/PauloKoi, onde a gente grava os vídeos ao vivo e troca ideia com a galera aqui no chat. Inclusive, sejam todos muito bem-vindos. Vamos nessa. Vamos descer aqui que vamos encontrar com a mãe da vampirela aqui. Ih! Queria ter pulado, eu quero pular, cara.
Are you all right? That looked painful.
Qual foi? O que aconteceu?
Now that I think about it, I should have expected that. Sorry. It's hard to describe. The soul cairn is, well, hungry, for lack of a better word. It's trying to take your life essence as payment. There might be, but I don't think you're going to like it. Vampires aren't counted among the living. I could probably go through there without a problem.
Você está dizendo que eu preciso me tornar um vampiro?
Not your first choice, I guess.
Deve haver outra maneira.
Maybe. We could just pay the toll another way. It wants a soul, so we give it a soul. Yours.
Vou ter que... Peraí, vou ter que vender minha alma para o Satanás? Adoraria. Isso iria me matar.
My mother taught me a trick or two. I could partially soul trap you and offer that gem to the ideal masters. It might be enough to satisfy them. It would make you a bit weaker when we travel through the soul cairn, but we might be able to fix that once we're inside. Maybe.
Essas são as minhas únicas opções?
I'm sorry. I wish I knew a better way, something that would be easier for you. Just know that whatever path you choose, I won't think any less of you. Sometimes things just have to be done. I know that better than anybody.
Torne-se um vampiro ou torne-se parcialmente uma alma presa. Eita, eu falei que eu não queria ser vampiro. Senão eu tinha fechado com o pai dela. Caramba. Parcialmente uma alma presa.
I'm wondering what my mother got up to here. She definitely wasn't trying to keep the place clean.
Prenda minha alma, não me sinto bem como vampiro. Pô, será que eu vou ficar queimado com ela? Sad boy. Alô. Boa noite. Cara, não sei. Vamos lá, não vou vender minha alma. Quer dizer, eu vou vender minha alma.
You'll remain mortal, but you'll find yourself weakened within the soul cairn.
Não existe ser fraco, minha filha. Dou facada nas costas do povo. Eu estou pronto, bora.
I know this is difficult for you. I hope you trust me. I'd never do anything that could hurt you.
Confio completamente em você. Estou apaixonado.
Thank you. Let's not waste any more time then. I promise to make this as painless as possible. Hold still.
Agora eu posso pular mesmo? E porque aí, motherfucker?
Let's go. My mother must be waiting on the other side of that thing. I heard stories.
Localize Valérica. Pô, legal isso.
See it myself. So far it's about what I imagined.
Cara.
I feel terrible.
Caralho, que irado.
Like they're still suffering.
Cara, que cenário maneiro, velho. Que cenário maneiro. Mas vamos lá, hein. Vamos na moralzinha. Opa. Opa. Meu Deus. Será um inimigo? Edvan! Chegou aí, boa noite. Edvan, manda o link do grupo do Telegram pro Manoplays aí. Ele virou sub do canal. Olha a alma! Sick! Eita, não pegou. Sick! 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 Não, não vai. Dona Alma, fala comigo então. É, que chato, né? Tem um Hadouken voador aqui.
I wonder if the fire's still burning in the Imperial City. Let's keep moving.
O que é que sua mãe veio fazer aqui, minha senhora? Meio assustador. Claro que não.
Where'd you come from? That'll teach you.
Oi! Porra, você tá se perguntando de que lugar é esse? Tá louca, tia? Seria legal, legal daí que todos os mobs depois... Que isso, cara? Eu tô matando caveirinha. E olha o spoiler, hein? Cuidado com o spoiler, senão toma...
1000 steps and 1000 more.
Não toma... Time out.
You must help me find my Arvak. He doesn't deserve to be in a place like this.
Se acalme, homem. Quem é Arvak?
Arvak, my horse. We came to this horrible place together. We were attacked by monsters, so I told him to run. Please, he's such a loyal creature, and he's been running for so long. You have to save him. A place like this will change you.
Como eu posso ajudá-lo?
Arvak! Arvak! Where are you? Arvak, please come back! Come back!
Sumiu. Procure o crânio de Arvak nos túmulos das almas. Porra, sério, mano? Serião que você me deu uma side questzinha de achar cabeça de jumento aqui? Arvak. Como é? Mas, rapaz, pô, se não tiver no meu caminho vai ser complicado. Venda das almas, recolher. Alma colhida. Caraca, você pega a alma... Eu nem sei onde foi que eu peguei essa alma. Aqui você coleta a alma como se fosse... Aqui outra fenda. Ah, entendi. Caraca, tem alguma coisa me lembrando do Diablo no clima. Vicafun. Ou Vicafan. Boa noite. Comecei a acompanhar seus vídeos. Do Old Dragon Day. Caraca, velho. Qual deles? Eu acho que tem 2 Old Dragon Days no canal.
Where'd you come from? Done. Who's there?
– 2018 e 2020. É, foram o que eu fiz. Esse ano... O de 2020 me deu uma brochada, aí acabei não fazendo os outros. Aí acabei nem... Na verdade, esse ano tô muito apertado de tempo, acabei não fazendo. Ha! Pegadinha do malandro. A alma do malandro. Meu Deus! Tá sugando minha vida aqui! Campanha de Tormenta 20. É, tormentinha. Pô, eu não gosto desse negócio de ficar catando, procurando coisa no mapa, velho. Me lembro o WoW. Pouco produtivo. E o mapa é grande, então se você não tiver uma pista de onde procurar o crânio do cavalo...
This accursed place is nothing but a prison without walls.
Ei, 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 Arvak! Arvak! Pera aí! Porra, você é um cavalo ou um cachorro, sacana? Ah! Será que é aqui? Meu Deus!
Well, look what we have here. Someone with flesh on their bones.
Sim, sou eu.
Let's just say I sold something to a guy who turned out to work for a whole coven of necromancers. How in the name of Zenithar was I to know the ingredients were phony? Do I look like someone that would double-cross a necromancer?
Então foi assim que você chegou aqui?
You got it. Horse, wagon and all. Plopped here without so much as a word. I used to be one of the best traders in High Rock, you know. How people would track me down just to see what I had for sale.
Tem alguma coisa sobrando?
Very funny. And what exactly are you going to pay me with? Take a look around. Gold doesn't exactly win you any friends around here.
Eu vou ver alguma coisa que você queira.
I'll tell you what. I appreciate what you're trying to do, so I'll play along. The only thing I see around here in abundance are soul husks. You know, those ugly fungus-looking things growing out of the ground. Bring me, say, 25 of them, and you can rummage through what was left on my cart. Odds and ends I've gathered over the years. Well, used to gather, before all of this nonsense happened to me. Tell me what you're looking for, and maybe we can make a deal, if you have the husks.
Interessante. Não tenho os 25 cascos.
No husks, no sale. Guess you have some scavenging to do.
De que cascas ele tá falando? Casca de alma. Cara, tá. Eu tô achando essas quests muito uou. Ah, pô, procurar um item. Coletar 25 coisas. Tá muito World of Warcraft, cara. Eu não gosto. Sabe aquela coisa meio MMORPG? O cenário bacana, mas mal aproveitado. Agora essas pancadas de raios estão bonitas, viu? O barulho tá muito bonito. Apesar de repetitivo. Ah, boi velho. Essa aqui é a parede visível do mapa. Vamos fazer o seguinte. Vamos focar na quest principal. Eita, pega quase, hein? Vamos seguir para a quest principal, lembrando que a gente tá... O nosso objetivo é finalizar o Skyrim, então a gente não pode ficar perdendo tempo com side quest boba. Não é o momento. Eu prometi que eu ia terminar Skyrim em 2021. Tá desgraça! Vou terminar Skyrim em 2021. Sumiu! Caraca, essa mulher é muito sinistra, velho. Caraca, que irado, mano. Pedaço da torre que caiu. Tem alguma coisa me lembrando Journey também. Quem jogou Journey? Journey é um dos melhores jogos que eu joguei na minha vida.
Mother? Mother!
Can't be. Serana?
Is it really you? I can't believe it. How do we get inside? We have to talk.
Serana, what are you doing here? Where's your father?
He doesn't know we're here. I don't have time to explain.
I must have failed. Harkon's found a way to decipher the prophecy, hasn't he?
No, you've got it all wrong. We're here to stop him. To make everything right.
Wait a moment. You've brought a stranger here? Have you lost your mind?
No, you don't...
You, come forward. I would speak with you.
So how has it come to pass that a vampire hunter is in the company of my daughter? It pains me to think you'd travel with Serana under the guise of her protector in an effort to hunt me down.
Não é nenhuma artimanha. Quero mantê-la segura.
Coming from one who murders vampires as a trade, I find it hard to believe your intentions are noble. Serana has sacrificed everything to prevent Harkon from completing the prophecy. I would have expected her to explain that to you.
Por isso que eu estou aqui, pelo manuscrito.
You think I'd have the audacity to place my own daughter in that tomb for the protection of her Elder Scroll alone? The scrolls are merely a means to an end. The key to the tyranny of the sun is Serana herself.
What? O que você quer dizer? Ela é The Elder Scrolls.
When I fled Castle Volkihar, I fled with 2 Elder Scrolls. The scroll I presume you found with Serana speaks of Aurion and his arcane weapon, Auriel's bow. The second scroll declares that the blood of Cold Harbor's daughter will blind the eye of the dragon.
Onde Serana entra?
Like myself, Serana was a human once. We were devout followers of Lord Molig Bal. Tradition dictates the females be offered to Molig Bal on his summoning day. Few survive the ordeal. Those that do emerge as a pure-blooded vampire. We call such confluences the Daughters of Cold Harbor.
A tirania do sol quer o sangue de Serena? Serena passou por esse ritual de bom grado?
It was expected of her, just as it was expected of me. Being selected as an offering to Molig Bal is an honor. She wouldn't have dared turn her back on that.
Ok. Cold Harbor.
It's what some call the domain of Molig Bal. His place in oblivion.
Pedacinho do céu no inferno. Ou pedacinho do inferno no inferno. A tirania do sol quer o sangue de Serana?
Now you're beginning to see why I wanted to protect Serana, and why I've kept the other Elder Scroll as far from her as possible.
Você está querendo dizer que Harkon quer matá-la?
If Harkon obtained Auriel's bow, and Serana's blood was used to taint the weapon, the tyranny of the sun would be complete. In his eyes, she'd be dying for the good of all vampires.
Eu nunca deveria ter deixado isso acontecer.
How exactly do you plan on stopping him?
Eu matarei Harkon. Vou precisar da sua ajuda.
Have you been listening to me? Like Serana, I'm a pure-blooded vampire. My presence on Tamriel is as much of a danger as hers.
Qual a opinião de Serana sobre isso?
You care nothing for Serana, or our plight. Whether or not you've become one of us in order to survive the Soul Cairn, you're still a vampire hunter at heart. You're here because we're abominations in your mind. Evil creatures that need to be destroyed.
Serana acredita em mim, por que você não?
Serana? This stranger aligns himself with those that would hunt you down and slay you like an animal. Yet I should entrust you to him.
This stranger has done more for me in the brief time I've known him than you've done in centuries.
Eita!
Dare you? I gave up
Casos de
everything I
família.
cared about to protect you from that fanatic you call a father.
Yes, he's a fanatic. He's changed. But he's still my father. Why can't you understand how that makes me feel?
Oh, Serana, if you'd only open your eyes. The moment your father discovers your role in the prophecy, that he needs your blood, you'll be in terrible danger.
So to protect me, you decided to shut me away from everything I cared about. You never asked me if hiding me in that tomb was the best course of action. You just expected me to follow you blindly. Both of you were obsessed with your own paths. Your motivations might have been different, but in the end, I'm still just a pawn to you too. I want us to be a family again. But I don't know if we can ever have that. Maybe we don't deserve that kind of happiness. Maybe it isn't for us. But we have to stop him before he goes too far. And to do that, we need the Elder Scroll.
I'm sorry, Serana. I didn't know. I didn't see. I've allowed my hatred of your father to estrange us for too long. Forgive me. If you
Já
want
convenceu a
the
mãe?
Scroll, it's yours. Your intentions are still somewhat unclear to me. But for Serana's sake, I'll assist you in any way that I can.
Parece a voz da Morrigan. Da Morrigan não, da... Plymouth. Você está com o manuscrito? Claro que não.
I've kept it safely secured here ever since I was imprisoned. Fortunately, you're in a position to breach the barrier that surrounds these ruins.
O que nós precisamos fazer?
You need to locate the tallest of the rocky spires that surround these ruins. At their bases, the barrier's energy is being drawn from unfortunate souls that have been exiled here. Destroy the keepers that are tending them, and it should bring the barrier down.
Voltaremos logo.
One more word of warning. There's a dragon that calls itself Durnavir roaming the cairn. Be wary of him.
Dragão.
The Ideal Masters have charged him with overseeing the Keepers, and will undoubtedly intervene if you're perceived as a threat.
Mate os guardiões do ossário. Aí eu vou fazer. Como você foi preso aqui?
When I entered the Soul Cairn, I had intended to strike a bargain with the Ideal Masters, the custodians of this place.
Que porra foi essa com a vampira? Qual foi o negócio? Ih, qual é o negócio, Alexandre?
I requested refuge in the Soul Cairn, and in exchange, I would provide the Ideal Masters the souls that they craved. If I had foreseen the value they placed on my own soul, I would never have come here.
Eles a enganaram.
The Ideal Masters unleashed their keepers and sent them to destroy me. Fortunately, I was able to hold them at bay and retreat into these ruins.
E você ficou presa.
Unfortunately, yes. Since the keepers weren't able to claim my soul, they had their minions construct a barrier that I'd never be able to breach.
Você esteve aprisionado aqui por todo esse tempo?
Time has very little meaning to me. Consequently, it has little meaning to the Ideal Masters as well. I suppose you could call this the ultimate waiting game, each watching the other to see which would give in.
Se eu deixar o túmulo das almas, eu posso retornar em segurança?
As you've been traveling in the Soul Cairn, your body has become attuned to it. Let's just say a tiny part of you rubbed off on it, and in its place, a bit of the Soul Cairn filled the void. You should find no difficulty using the portal any longer.
Isso é interessante. Por que você não segue a profecia?
Harkon's vision is a world plunged in eternal darkness, where the vampire can flourish, and never again fear the tyranny of the sun. What he fails to realize is how much attention would be called to our kind if the prophecy came to fruition.
Que tipo de atenção?
If eternal night fell, there are many who wouldn't stand for it. They would raise armies in attempts to return things to normal. The order of the day would be our destruction, until every last vampire was hunted down and eliminated.
Então você prefere viver nas sombras?
I do. It's how the vampire has survived for millennia, and the only way we can continue to survive in the future.
Quem são os mestres ideais? Boa.
I know very little about them. They're mystic entities that lord over the Soul Cairn, controlling every aspect from its fabric to its appearance.
As que se assemelham?
Well, some necromancers believe they are the crystalline structures dotting the Soul Cairn. I believe there's more to it than that.
Como assim?
I think they transcend what we perceive as a physical form. Perhaps they were once corporeal beings, but they've obviously reached a point where they no longer require a tangible presence.
E os cristais?
Conduits, through which the Ideal Masters speak to their underlings and feed on their victims.
Por que eles necessitam de sustento? Caraca, o cara também tá parecendo criança. Toda hora fazendo uma perguntinha.
The Ideal Master's weakness is their insatiable hunger for pure souls. It's the reason for the Soul Cairn's existence, and the only leverage a necromancer has when bargaining with them.
O que os mestres oferecem em troca?
The ability to summon powerful undead guardians, as one would conjure an Atronak or Daedra. However, the majority of necromancers that are foolish enough to enter into a bargain with the Ideal Masters wind up here as harvested souls.
Isso.
Be careful, and keep my daughter safe.
Manterei, senhora.